After a few days in San Sebastián de la Gomera, I decided to give camping another go and found this lovely spot right by the sea. I had rice with sardines for dinner, porridge with protein powder and instant cappuccino for breakfast, and enjoyed this amazing place before I headed on to find another stealth spot to pitch my tent. I found an abandoned restaurant and what seemed like a wind-protected spot with an incredible view of Tenerife and Mount Teide. Lesson learned: if there are wind turbines around, there's a pretty good chance it's going to be, well, windy. I ended up spending several hours that night literally holding onto my tent so I wouldn't get blown away. The next morning I set off for Valle Gran Rey, the hippie town of La Gomera. Jungle, rain and sunshine. It was a day full of contrasts.
Toll. Wir haben die Chance, die Welt zu retten. Und das machen wir auch. Weil Rick Mitchell uns gelehrt hat, mutig zu sein und nie auf Nummer sicher zu gehen. Und die Welt braucht dich. Ich brauch dich.
Yeah, what can I say? Another cycling adventure? Another postage stamp tattoo under my skin. I spent a few days in Valle Gran Rey before catching the ferry to Tenerife, where I paid €60 for a bunk in a 6-bed dorm. It was the cheapest place in Los Cristianos. Room prices in the Canaries are definitely far from budget friendly. Amazing roads with quite a bit of traffic and perfect weather when heading to a public campsite on Tenerife. You have to register, but it's completely free. The problem is that they are all located at very high altitudes, and the weather this time of year isn't ideal for that. Leni and Sperli, two incredible nice people from Graz and fellow Gran Guanche participants, invited me to Bayamar. I spent 2 nights enjoying their amazing hospitality. Thanks.
Cheers.
Goodbye friends, goodbye Tenerife, and hello again, Gran Canaria. First I caught up with some golfing friends in San Agustin, and afterwards I was welcomed by the Heartlanders in Maspalomas, who provided me with food and a place to stay. Thanks again. My strange relationship with the wind was confirmed once again when I arrived in Pozo Izquierdo. The place greeted me with a massive mural that said it all: the home of the wind. Thanks for stopping by, Chilla and Kevin, and first steps in video editing were made. No hairdryer? No problem. Protein powder, oats. Delicious. This is the shared kitchen and shared living area. The bathroom was shared as well, and my room was, to be honest, very basic, but it was okay. I haven't been cycling that much lately because I think for me bikepacking is all about having a clear destination. Once I'd more or less explored the islands, that drive to discover just kind of faded away. So I decided to just chill on Gran Canaria for a bit and then taking the ferry to the Spanish mainland. This is the only supermarket in Pozo. The staff is super friendly, but it's definitely on the expensive side. Caring for my bike and then carrying my bike. On the way to Santa Lucia, I met some Italian guys and I really enjoyed this short ride with a coffee stop and not a lot of bags on my bike. But the coffee stop wasn't the goal, it was Dana who maintained my Dreadlocs. It turned into a massive 9-hour project. I ended up riding back in the dark, really exhausted. As you all know, wherever I go, the wind follows. Pozo, the ultimate windsurfing paradise, is definitely cool to watch, but man, it's intense. Starting the day with coffee and bruschetta before heading out to an incredible beautiful ride. I've been lazy for the past few days because of calima, a meteorological phenomenon where dry, fine dust and sand particles from the Sahara Desert cover the islands. The advice is to avoid outdoor sports to protect lungs, and to be honest, the views are really poor, so it wouldn't have made sense at all. But today the visibility is incredible and the landscape on my way to Maspalomas is absolutely stunning. So thankful. Finally I arrived at the dunes of Maspalomas. It's like being in the middle of the Sahara. Absolutely surreal to see this landscape right by the ocean. So let's push the bike through the sand dunes to have an ice cold cerveza sin alcohol con Gilla e Kevin. And wash the stinky feet in the refreshing ocean. I think this was the day in my messy room where I decided to quit smoking and quit vaping. Nobody said quitting was easy, but I found out that eating even more than before is incredibly easy. Holy moly. They told me I had to ride up to Pico de las Nieves, so I did it. I left a sticker behind and just soaked in an incredibly beautiful ride. The descent was just as incredible, and thank God it wasn't very windy that day, so I could descend without any fear. Inspired by the marine life, I was ready to explore the island's fauna. So I decided to check out the crocodile park and set off on my way with a bit of gravel in between. Not super lucky today because I rode up to the crocodile park. They rescue wild animals here, and it's like a zoo, but it's caring about the animals who need help. But it's closed today, so let's go back. After cleaning my bike and back in Boso, I treated myself to a Magnum. Since the crocodile park was closed, I had to settle for a lizard joining me for ice cream instead. Not exactly a crocodile, but it did the job. Safe. Goodbye Boso. The wind was against me again, but at least it wasn't raining a lot on that short ride. Rain jacket off again. Just made it to Telde before the rain really started coming down. On my way to Las Palmas de Gran Canaria, I wasn't quite as lucky with the rain this time. I've arrived in Las Palmas de Gran Canaria and I'll be staying here until I catch the ferry to the Spanish mainland. Until then, I'm exploring the city and working on this video. I still have a lot to learn, especially when it comes to being camera shy and not caring if people watch me film. It may take a while until I upload a good video, so please be patient. Sorry. I really like Las Palmas. The city feels different somehow. It has a different vibe compared to the other cities on Gran Canaria or Tenerife. Even though the forecast says it's going to rain today and for the next few days as well, there are always these sunny breaks in between. So it's almost the end of my trip on the Canary Islands. I'll stay here in Las Palmas de Gran Canaria for some more days. Then I take the ferry to Huelva on the mainland of Spain. I'll cycle down to Tenerife, that's the southest part of Europe, before I go up to Santiago de Compostela through Portugal. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the videos. And even if not, please subscribe, like and comment. Thanks and bye. See you. I visited the aquarium and wanted to share a few impressions of my visit with you.